The storm had rolled in quietly at first, a low hum of thunder beneath the music playing through the Weber house. By midnight, rain was sliding down the glass walls in shimmering lines, pooling against the deck like spilled mercury. Inside, the world was warm and orderly. Every photo hung straight, every book perfectly aligned, the house humming softly with the kind of calm only built through years of routine. Evan Weber was used to control. He lived by it, in his work as an architect, in his marriage, in the predictable rhythm of fatherhood. Tonight, though, the silence felt unfamiliar. His wife, Karen, and their 2 children were gone for the weekend, off to the beach. He had promised to join them after finishing a project. That promise now sat folded in his mind like a page he hadn't turned yet. He poured another glass of wine, tried to focus on the screen. The cursor blinked. His thoughts wandered. He missed the noise, the clatter of dishes, the laughter, the ordinary chaos of family life. For the first time in months, he noticed how big the house felt when it was just him. Then came the knock. 3 faint taps, barely audible over the rain. He froze. It was late, nearly 1 in the morning. No one should have been out there. He set his glass down, walked slowly to the door. When he opened it, 2 figures stood beneath the porch light, soaked through, shivering, their hair plastered to their faces. "Hi," one of them said, laughing softly through her breath. "We're so sorry. We got dropped at the wrong address. Could we maybe use your phone? It's," she gestured helplessly, "dead." The other girl smiled, quieter but equally desperate looking. They looked harmless, frightened, human, vulnerable. Evan hesitated only a second before stepping aside. "Come in. You'll get sick out there." They entered like stray cats, dripping puddles onto the hardwood floor. He handed them towels, found them robes from the laundry room. The brunette introduced herself as Genesis. Her friend, the blonde, was Belle. They were charming, grateful, chatty. Their laughter filled the empty rooms like sunlight in winter. While they waited for their ride, they asked about his art, his music, his work. Genesis moved through the house like she belonged there, running her fingers over the spines of his books. Belle curled up on the couch, watching him with wide, curious eyes. He called them a car. It would take 20 minutes. In that time, everything changed. The conversation turned playful. Jokes became flirtation. Flirtation became tension. They teased him about being the perfect husband. Genesis asked if he ever got bored. Belle whispered, "You're too handsome to be left home alone." He laughed it off, embarrassed. He reminded them, and himself, that he was married. When the car finally arrived, the rain had turned into a roar. "We can't go out in that," Belle said, peering through the window. "You'll be fine," he said, but his voice was uncertain. They didn't move. Genesis smiled, slow, deliberate, just until it clears up. Evan felt a flicker of something he couldn't quite name. Guilt, maybe. Curiosity. He nodded. "Okay, just a few minutes." Those minutes stretched. Belle found his record collection and put on old jazz. Genesis sat close, too close. Their laughter filled the air again, sweet and dangerous. When Genesis leaned in to whisper something, her hair brushed his neck. The scent of her shampoo mixed with the smell of rain and wine. He stood up quickly. "You should probably," but the words died as he saw them both standing there, bare shoulders gleaming under soft light, their towels slipping. "Evan," Genesis whispered, "you've been such a gentleman." He could have left, should have left, but he didn't. When he woke, sunlight was pouring through the curtains. His heart pounded before his eyes were even open. The bed felt wrong. He turned, saw Genesis and Belle sleeping soundly beside him. His stomach twisted. "What have I done?" he whispered. He shook them awake, panic thick in his voice. "You have to go." "Please." They smiled, lazy and unbothered. "Relax," Belle said. "It was fun." Evan's hands trembled as he found their clothes, their phones, anything to hurry them out. But Genesis stood in his path. "You don't get to throw us out like garbage," she said, her voice low, dangerous. The shift was immediate. The softness vanished. When he threatened to call the police, they laughed. When he begged them to leave, they began to mock him. Within minutes, his phone was gone, his laptop locked. Then they tied him up. It happened fast, a blur of rope, tape, and disbelief. He was dragged into his own living room, bound to a chair, humiliated in the house he built with his own hands. Genesis crouched in front of him, smiling with a predator's patience. "We gave you a choice," she said. "You chose wrong." They filmed everything, his pleading, his apologies, his desperation. By nightfall, the house looked like a nightmare. Paint smeared across the walls, family portraits shattered, his children's drawings burned in the fireplace. The air reeked of sweat, fear, and perfume. At one point, Genesis wore his wife's dress, twirling in front of him. "Do you still think you're a good man?" she asked. He didn't answer. When the third morning came, they finally untied him. His arms ached, his throat was raw, but worse than the pain was the silence that followed. Belle leaned close, her breath against his ear. "You'll remember us forever." Genesis held up her phone, showing him the video. "Everyone will." Then they left. Just like that, out the front door, into the daylight, laughing as they went. Evan stumbled through the ruins of his house. Furniture overturned, photos slashed, red paint spelling words he couldn't bear to read. He found his phone on the floor. Notifications were already pouring in. The video, his video, was online. He sank to his knees. Outside, the rain had stopped. The sun was bright and unfeeling. Somewhere, his wife and children were packing their things, ready to come home. He looked around the house, the broken symbols of his perfect life, and saw what he'd lost. Not just his family, but the illusion that he was ever safe from himself. All it had taken was a knock. He had opened the door out of kindness, out of habit, out of boredom. It didn't matter. He had invited the storm in, and when it left, it took everything with it.